Yeah, hello. My name is Dr. Utchay, and I want to talk about 5 things that Africa must do to become a first world nation. Africa is a blessed continent. Massive investment of mineral resources across board, all over. Everybody knows that Africa is the in thing. Africa is the Garden of Eden. Africa has all it takes to be a first world nation. But what's the issue? What's the problem? There are some critical things that we need to put in place for us to make Africa a first world continent. Number 1, we need to invest in education. We just need to invest in education. Education in various areas. But the one that is paramount, the major investment that Africa needs to do that can actually give Africa a quantum leap and make Africa become a first world continent as fast as possible, because time is running out on Earth. We need to catch up with the rest of the world. Is vocational skills. Africa need to invest in vocational skills. Enough of all the white-collar jobs. They're important, they're necessary, but guess what? How many of the white-collar jobs can actually employ our teeming population, our teeming youths all over Africa that are jobless? We need to invest in vocational skills. What happens to this? I remember I was in a conference some time ago and I said something. I said, we need to invest in vocational education, but we invest in it in a different way. What happens to this? Somebody gets into a university and all the person is studying is welding. At the end of the day, gets a degree in welding, how to fabricate iron. That is it. That's what the person went to school to study. Of course, your first year, you learn a couple of things, general studies and all the rest of it, and you now step into your area of professionalism, which is welding. It can be tiling, yeah. It can be tiling. It can be POP making. You get a degree in that particular area. It can be this thing we call electrical engineering and the rest of it. Most electricians do better than even the ones that answer electrical engineer. You say you are an electrical engineer, you don't even know how to wire a house. Isn't that funny? That's what happens in Africa, because all you know is the theory and not the practical. It's time, Africa, we invest in the practical side of education. We should leave most of all this theory stuff and all the rest of it are things that confuse a lot of people. Somebody says he's a mechanical engineer and he cannot clean his plug in his car. He cannot repair his car. He doesn't know what's happening with his car. Isn't that funny? Really, really funny and all. A mechanic can do that conveniently. Now we need to invest in the vocational sector. Very important. The mechanics, the welders, the plumbers, yeah, they need to have a degree. We need to give them degrees and all. That's the gospel truth, a degree. We train them and help them boost their confidence and give them the expertise that they need. Because they're already doing it already. These guys are already doing this stuff. Look at countries like Togo. Togo is a massive export when it has to do with tiling. They are very good. Togo, most of the houses you see built in Nigeria and Ghana, a couple of countries and all are Togo people. And I know if you're watching this video right now, you can just go ahead and feel free and give us some thumbs up and all. Togo, you guys have got the export in tiling. Very good. I've used them in a couple of construction that I did, building construction. They are very good. Togolese, they are very, very good in that. Now, what do? We need to now add the formal education to it and now make them have confidence. Dignity of labor is very important in Africa. Dignity of labor. You notice something in Africa right now, if somebody is not doing working in the bank, working in the bank or working in the government parastatal, if he's not an engineer, people seem not to regard him. No! People that do wrought iron and people that do tiling, a lot of them, they even have more money than people that work in the bank. There's one I met recently. He's one that works on my air condition and a couple of stuff. He does tiling and the rest of it. I was talking with him. He told me something. He says, sir, do you know, as I'm talking to you right now, that through this thing I'm doing, I have built a house. Yes, he has a house. And I was thinking maybe he built one mod house or one room and a parlor stuff or whatever. This guy has a duplex. How did he get that? He's married, he's living large. He said he has bought another land. Meanwhile, most people that work in the banking sector are owing. Most people that work in the bank, before the end of the month, they're already owing for last month and all. All they just do is keep settling debt and all. This guy is not owing anybody. He is an entrepreneur. How? By vocational skills. Africa, we need to invest in vocational skills. Now, dignity of labor is very important. Dignity of labor is very important. I remember one time I was in a taxi and I was talking to somebody, an Uber driver in New York, and I asked him, apart from this is the only job you do and all? He told me, he said, that he does this particular stuff, and apart from that, he also helps to do 1 or 2 menial jobs and whatever in sites and all those stuff, but he does the Uber stuff. But the Uber stuff engages him the more. And I asked him, are you married? And all? He said, he's about getting married. I said, who are you getting married to? He said, oh wow, I'm so proud of my girl and all. Guess what? He opened up his phone and brought out the picture. Guess who I saw? I saw a beauty queen with a sash. A sash. This guy is getting married to a beauty queen. And he was talking so confidently about it and all. He's a cab driver. He's getting married to a beauty queen. In Africa, it's practically almost impossible. Most people be like, taxi driver, how can I come? Sippers no get size. Come on, we need to wake up. Oh. We need to wake up. Dignity of labor. That's why we have a lot of criminology, a lot of people trying to steal, trying to become who they are not, and all the rest of it. Because why? They feel that nobody recognizes them in society. No matter what you do, how you are any ends meet is your pride. Dignity of labor. We need to encourage Africans to feel very, very dignified in any area they find themselves, or any labor, or in any craft they put their hands in. That's one of the ways you can bring out Africa from poverty. Africa needs entrepreneurship. We don't need professors. We need practitioners right now. We need practitioners. That's what we need. That's how great countries like Germany, China, that is it. In China, you see people that are manufacturing things in their garage. Germany, you see a lot of people manufacturing and all, doing all kinds of stuff. That is what it is. That's what we need. We need to hands-on skills is what we need right now in Africa to make Africa the continent that we're going to be proud of, and we are going to say, okay, our continent is now a first world nation. Let's bring in a lot of our young people, a lot of our people into the entrepreneurship space, and through that way, we can become a first world continent in a very, very short while. I believe in Africa. I know you do believe in Africa. To make Africa a first world continent, we need to strengthen governance and institutions. Very important. We need to. That's one of the key major areas we need to work on. We need to strengthen governance. We need to have institutions that work. We need to have our judiciary system that work. Nobody wants to be in a country where there's no justice. Nobody wants to be in a country where the institutions are not working, where the institutions are not viable, where the institutions cannot speak on its own. We need to strengthen institutions and governance. We need to have accountability. Very important, accountability. Any government that is not accountable, people cannot have confidence in it. And we need to strengthen the rule of law. Rule of law is very important for us to make Africa a first world nation, for us to make the international community have confidence that Africa is of age, that Africa is actually doing the right thing. We need to strengthen the rule of law. We need to have accountability. It's high time that the government, people in government know that they owe accountability to the citizen. The money in government does not belong to you. Everything was given to you in trust. The jet that you are flying doesn't belong to you, it belongs to the people. The house you are living in doesn't belong to you, it belongs to the people. Everybody in government should understand that they are serving the people, and not what's currently happening right now, where the people are serving people in government. No, that's not what it should be. You're actually elected to serve the people. You are a servant of the people. That is what it is. So you need to be accountable to the people. Very important. Rule of law is very, very important. We must make sure that our rule of law works. Make sure that the legal system works for the people. That's the only way the people can build confidence in governance. That's the truth. We need to get it right. We need to combat corruption. Very important. Combat corruption in Africa. Very, very, very key and important. A lot of corruption is going on. There's no transparency. We need to combat corruption in Africa. If you want the international community, if we want Africans to have confidence in our government, in our governance in Africa, we need to combat corruption. Corruption is like an epidemic. No accountability. Corruption has eaten so deep. The rights of the people are being trampled on. The people are living like slaves and all. Rule of law is practically gone. No, we can't continue that way. Africa, we need to get it right. Somebody has an issue. Can somebody have the confidence and say, you know what, I will go to the court and I will get justice? That's the kind of thing we need. We don't need anybody to call anybody. In Africa right now, if you don't know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, you can't get justice. That is wrong. No matter who you are, be you the son of the president, be you the daughter of the governor, whoever you are, if you commit any crime, you should pay for it. Same way any citizen will pay for it. There's no need bending justice because of anybody, because of the level, because of the status you have in society. Let's get our rule of law working. Let's get things right. When these things start happening and all, what will happen is that Africa is going to have a quantum leap in development. People will have confidence to invest. No matter how you want people to come and invest in your country, in Africa, and they hear and they find out that in a place, in the country where you're intending to come and invest in, is a place where there's lawlessness. Nobody wants a situation whereby he puts his money and after a few years or thereabout, they come up with one law and the next thing is that is it. All your money has gone down the drain. Nobody wants to do business that kind of community, except the person is actually somebody that also have an interest to come to rip off the nation also. Then he will be comfortable because he knows that I shop you, you shop me, we are all fine. No, we need to have rule of law in Africa. Let's get it right. Let's get it right. Let's get it right. African leaders, no matter where you are leading, you need to lead by example. Let's get it right in governance. Let's get it right in accountability. And let's get it right in the rule of law. And with this, we can make Africa a first world nation. Yeah, so 5 things Africa must do to become a first world continent. One of it is this: we need to promote economic diversification and industrialization. Diversify economies beyond traditional sectors like agriculture and mining. We need to diversify. We just need to diversify. You notice that most countries in Africa, once you have like oil, you maintain drilling that particular oil. Meanwhile, you have other areas that you can explore. Africa, a country like Nigeria, has a massive arable land for agriculture. Agriculture is like gold and all. But you find out that many people don't really care. Everybody wants to mine and mine and mine until we finish all the mineral resources that we have. Thank God that God has given us mineral resources in abundance. Instead, it has really been a very, very bad situation. So we need to diversify. There are other areas where we can explore. We can explore agriculture, we can explore tech, we can explore, there's a whole lot. There are some countries in this world that don't even have oil and all this other stuff, but they are surviving, they are doing very well. They are doing very well. There's a lot that God has deposited in Africa. God has deposited in different parts of Africa. You talk about uranium, is it gas? Is it all kinds of mineral available in Africa? We need to explore these mineral resources, diversify. And that's the way that we can actually help Africa and make Africa a first world nation in a very short while. So it's very important that Africans we diversify. Now, it is very important, I repeat it again, very important that we diversify. One of the areas we should invest in is in manufacturing, very important. Manufacturing, you see technology. It's not just selling raw materials. We need to get into manufacturing. We need to get into production. Very key. Very key. Value added. We don't just get tomato, export it out of the country and all. We should manufacture tomato paste. Yeah, we should manufacture with cocoa. We shouldn't just export cocoa. No, we should manufacture chocolate. Look at what happened. People, we get cocoa, we export it out of the country, they buy it at a very ridiculous amount. At the end of the day, they bring it back to us and we pay exorbitantly for us to have chocolate. We pay premium to get this thing. Meanwhile, we can manufacture these things in Africa. Value added trade, that's what we're looking for. Manufacturing. African leaders should pay attention to manufacturing. Africa should start manufacturing what she consumes. And we should not be an expert in just consuming things that we import. We do a lot of imports in Africa. No, we should manufacture our own stuff. And it's not rocket science. We can do this and all. You see, technology, very important. Diversified technology. Technology is gold. It's gold. The richest man in the world right now made his money through tech. That's the truth. Through tech. Technology is gold. Look at Bill Gates. Look at Elon Musk. Through tech. We need to encourage our young people. Doing very well. Africans are doing well in terms of technology and all, but we need to encourage them. We need to encourage our young people for them to be technologically innovative. And with this, we are going to build a healthy economy. Technology is very, very important. Now, in 2024, Nigeria's technology sector contributed and continue to contribute significant major input into the economy, into the GDP of Nigeria. Let's use Nigeria as a case study. In 2024, Nigeria ICT contributed 17.68% to the real GDP of the country, Nigeria. Yeah, with the fintech ecosystem attracting over $2 billion worth of investment in Nigeria. Over $2 billion worth of investment in Nigeria came through the fintech alone. What are we talking about? These are areas where we need to invest in. Very important. Yeah, so technology is a big deal in Africa. A big deal in Africa. And innovation Of course, this will lead to job creation all around Africa, and not just job creation, added value. We need to add value to the natural resources in Africa. Yeah, that's why we don't just do exportation, raw material export and all the rest of it. No, we need to do value added trade. Yeah, by building industries, yeah, manufacturing stuffs and all, and we add value to the natural resources that God has given to us. I mean, that is going to bring a major boost of development, a major boost of increase in our GDP across Africa. It's going to bring about a massive revolution in Africa. And now, very important, we need to also support small and medium-sized enterprise. I'm talking about SMEs. I'm talking about entrepreneurs. Yeah, SMEs, they are the drivers. They are the drivers of development. They are the drivers of economy anywhere in the world. SMEs are very important. So we need to support SMEs to actually thrive. Very important. Any country that ignores our SMEs and all, small and medium scale industry people, is actually making a big mistake. We need to support them so that they can thrive, so entrepreneurs can grow to become giants, and at the end of the day, contribute to the nation at the end of the day. Very important. Very, very important. Yeah. Now, number 4, we need to invest massively in infrastructure and energy development. Very important. Very important. Infrastructure is key. We need to enhance infrastructure and energy development. We need to invest in modern infrastructure, including transportation system. I mean, how do we move goods and services without modern transportation systems? We need to. The railway transportation, we need to work on our roads and all. Of course, the airline, flight, and all the rest of it. We need to. Very important. So we need to build network of roads. Yeah, our road network, build network of roads, build railways, build ports, build airports, energy system, and digital connectivity. Very important. Energy system. There's no way we can actually develop our country and see our country, our continent get to where she's supposed to be in if we don't invest in energy. Power is important. Light is important. It drives virtually every other thing. We need to invest in those critical infrastructure and all. And it's not rocket science. There are countries that have done it. Just within a short while and all, they are able to give constant and stable power supply in their country. And believe you me, it's going to boost the economy. So very important. Let's create the right road network. Let's create the right channel. I don't see reasons why people across Africa, we cannot create a proper flight network in Africa or road network. We should make it a priority. African presidents should come together, ECOWAS, the various unions come together, and let's build road network that cuts across Africa, not just our flights. We shouldn't make things so difficult. Within Africa, people can fly. If your journey is supposed to take you for 1 hour, it's supposed to take you for 1 hour, 30 minutes, let it be that. Not that a journey of 1 hour will take somebody like about 6 hours or 7 hours. No, these are things that impede growth in Africa, and we need to fight it headlong. Very important. We need to have connectivity across Africa. With this, we will engender growth. With this, we will have a viable Africa that will be a first world nation in a short while from now. Very important. Now, very important. We need to promote renewable energy source. Renewable energy, very, very important. We need to embrace that. That's why I love the fact the EV vehicles, things that are actually going on right now. Other continents, they are embracing the renewable energy. That's what they're embracing. We need to do that in Africa. We need to promote renewable energy source to ensure sustainable and reliable energy supply, which is key. Improve access to clean water and sanitation facility. Yeah, we need clean water. Most countries in Africa, most states and all, don't have clean water. They don't have clean water, clean pipe-borne water. We don't have that. You have people taking up, drinking from the stream. That will lead to all kinds of diseases, cholera and all the rest of it. We don't need all that. There's a popular saying that says neatness is next to godliness. Yeah. When we are neat, when we are clean, we will drive away most of the diseases that are supposed to plague our people. Yeah. Most times it's death and the environment that causes all this stuff that people start falling sick of. And we will now spend more in the medical sector than ever before, because plagues can break out from there. Death is terrible and very bad. We need to have proper sanitation across Africa and everything. Improve access to clean water is key in what we are doing. We need to foster regional integration and cooperation. Very important. Regional integration and cooperation. Most times across Africa, when you're doing business in Africa, at times it looks as if you're doing business with another continent entirely. No, that should not be. We need to foster regional integration. We need to foster cooperation. Very important. We need to encourage regional trade and economic integration through organizations like Africa Continental Free Trade Area, AfTA. Doing great and massive work. Yeah, do great and massive work. We need to embrace that. We need to encourage that. Africa needs to have a regional integration and cooperation amongst ourselves. Very important. With this, we can engender growth. We need to promote cross-border infrastructure projects to enhance connectivity, foster cooperation on issues like security, health, environmental protection. These are very, very vital. Now, empowering women is very important. Very, very important. Empowering women is very important. We need to empower women in Africa to promote gender equality. This in addition to the 5 points that I actually read out. I want to add this to it. We need to empower women to promote gender equality and empower women to participate fully in economic and social development. We can't function with half engine. That's the truth. We need to. I know the normal thing in Africa, women are meant to be in the kitchen, women are meant to be relegated at the background. No. Let's allow our women take their place. Let's allow them participate economically. Let's economically empower our women. There's something we usually say in our organization, we call it womanomics. Womanomics is the economic empowerment of our women. Womanomics. Let's encourage, let's empower our women. If our men are only empowered, we are functioning with one engine. We're supposed to function in two engines to create balance. So empowering the women creates the balance. And we all know that anything you give a woman, it's actually multiplied in the hand of the woman. You give a woman a word, she gives you a sentence. That's the truth. Yeah, she gives you a sentence. Women are multipliers. Women are influencers. Yeah, women have got influence. Men have authority. Women have influence. And that influence is very critical and important. Women can actually drive a change. Yeah, they come together and can drive a change. And if you're a woman watching this video, I want you to know that you are needed. Economically, you are needed. We cannot achieve the Africa we want without women taking their place in the helm of affair of economy and social development. Very important. Another major point I want to leave us with is we need to invest in health. Improve the healthcare system to ensure success to quality medical care and all. Very important. We need to improve healthcare. Very important. Yeah, when a man is healthy, that's why the man will now have access to pursuing monies or pursuing projects and all. We need to invest critically in healthcare, improve healthcare system to ensure access to quality medical care and promote public health. Is very, very important. By focusing on these areas, Africa can make significant, when I say significant, I mean significant strides towards becoming a more prosperous and developed continent. And with this, we can achieve a first world nation. It's time for Africa. Let's make Africa proud. Let's make Africa great again, because this is our time. Africa, we can do it. Africa, we can become a first world nation if we join our hands together to say, you know what, let's build Africa of our dream. Trust me, every other continent, we envy Africa. I said it a couple of years ago. Right now, what's happening right now is that some nations are actually banning African countries and all, no visa restriction and rest of it. There will be a time where these countries will queue up to come to Africa. Yeah. Queue up to come to South Africa, to come to Ghana, to come to Nigeria, come to Liberia and all. They will queue up to get visa. But guess what? We're not going to deny them visa when they have genuine stuff to come for. Why? Because Africa, we are loving. Africa is not time to retaliate. We are not going to retaliate to anybody. Let's build our continent, make our continent the envy of the world. We've got the best climate. Yes. We've got the best climate. We don't have any of these hurricanes happening in Africa. We've got the best climate. We've got the best weather. We've got the best culture. We don't need to copy any culture. Our culture is full of respect. That's why when most of my friends that come from outside the country, when they come to this continent and all, they don't want to go back. The respect, the hospitality, the culture is something else. It's interesting. And these are the things that we have to export to the world. Africans, it's our time. Africans, we can do this. Africans, we can make Africa great again. Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Utchay. God bless you. God bless Africa. And God bless and bless and bless and bless and bless every one of you watching this video. Take care of yourself.